Good morning, everyone. Merry stupid clock. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels, and apparently I'm already ahead of myself. I'm spilling tea on my couch. Don't worry, it dries. It'll live microfiber, right? Alright, folks, we are heading back to that horrible world known as the JRC, but before we do, a few of the usual disclaimers. First of all, why is the makeup on for once at stupid o'clock in the morning? Well, that's because, folks, I only had enough vacation time left to take off half of my day today, which has been second half commandeered by my mom, and because they wouldn't let me take off 4 hours off like yesterday, which would have been a nice, God kill me. And we are going to have lunch and go see Eternals for my birthday. Now, folks, if the Eternals sucks, please don't tell me. Part of the fun when we go to a comic book movie, me and my mom, when it sucks, is to be able to do an honest heckling of it while in the theater and, getting hushed. So don't ruin it for me. If it's so good, if it's so bad, it's good, don't let me know, alright? Alright? Kitty agrees. He has a list of complaints this morning. He wants to speak with the manager. He hasn't figured out yet Mommy's the manager. Anyways, we're going back to that horrible world known as the JRC. Now, you are going to find the links to new legal documents we are starting to go over this morning right there in the description box, as well as the other pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign, including Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject. We also have the templates. Sign your name, click on your senator, takes less than 2 minutes. Let's end adversive punishments, restraint, and seclusion in public schools, guys. It kills people every year. And also the ever-present self-explanatory change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. Now, this is a new court case, or relatively new, that was started in 2019. It is Sarah Villa by her guardians Marie and Johnny Villa, and they are the plaintiffs, versus the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center Incorporated and Devon Martinez, defendants. Now, this is currently still an ongoing case, folks, so this is more of the original complaint that we're going to be going through this morning. So, let's go ahead and get into it. Parties. Sarah Villa is an 18-year-old woman with multiple disabilities and a resident of South Lake Tahoe, California. She is currently placed in the psychiatric unit of College Hospital in Cerritos, California. At the time of the events described in this complaint, she was a minor. Oh my God, guys, I forgot the other disclaimers. When we are talking about the JRC, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of, and sometimes catch, clips of surveillance footage of people with disabilities being tortured and abused. You know the drill, folks. You have children. Goes without saying, use your headphones. Also, it is 3:32 a.m. in the morning. I might look more alive than normal, but I promise you, I am not completely unzombified yet. So if I stumble over any of my words, folks, my apologies in advance. I also apologize for my real gravelly voice. Yesterday was sheer hell on the phones, and by the end of the day, I almost had no voice left. This is actually an improvement from yesterday, so have a little pity, alright? Okay, I'm gonna read that over again because I am OCD as hell. If I don't follow routine, I am stuck in autistic fog brain for the rest of the day, and I really don't need that. So, Sarah Villa is an 18-year-old woman with multiple disabilities and a resident of South Lake Tahoe, California. She is currently placed in a psychiatric unit of College Hospital in Cerritos, California. At the time of the events described in this complaint, she was a minor. Johnny Villa and Marie Villa are Sarah Villa's parents and temporary conservators. They have filed a petition with the Superior Court of El Dorado County, California, for permanent conservatorship over her. Oh, fantastic. Great. They live at 3. Nope, we're not reading that. They live in South Lake Tahoe, California. The Judge Rutenberg Educational Center is a residential school for children and adults with intellectual, developmental, and psychosocial disabilities. Will not read where they live. Okay, yeah. Devon Martinez is an employee of the Judge Rotenberg Center and a resident of Dorchester, Massachusetts. Jurisdiction and venue. The court has jurisdiction to hear this civil action under Mass General Laws, Chapter 212. This court is the proper venue for this action under Mass General Laws 223 because the Judge Rotenberg Center has its principal place of business in Norfolk County. Statement of facts. Sarah Villa has multiple disabilities that affect her development, health, emotional regulation, and behavior. These include fetal alcohol syndrome, which has resulted in intellectual disability and limited impulse control, as well as heart problems that necessitated the placement of a shunt. Autism spectrum disorder, which causes her to experience sensory overload in crowded spaces and in response to certain types of physical touch, and schizophrenia, which causes her to experience both audio and command and visual hallucinations. As a student with disabilities, Ms. Villa has received special education services from the Lake Tahoe Unified School District. The school district has relied on federal funding to provide these services. After determining that it could not meet her special education needs, the school district decided to place Ms. Villa at a private out-of-school residential school for the 2017-2018 school year. Here's my question. Where the fuck do these schools suddenly get the power to just place these kids in residential schools outside of the state? Like, what the fuck? Can somebody please explain that to me? Shouldn't the parents be the one to be sending them to another school? Why the hell do these school districts have the power and the authority to send these kids anywhere? Anywhere. Is it done with the parents' consent or is it out of the parents' hands? This is something I would like to know because never in my life have I ever heard of a school district having enough power to supersede a parent's wishes, especially sending someone as far away, completely on the other side of the country, California, to the JRC. How the hell do they have that kind of power over them? Can somebody explain this shit to me? Sorry, I've had that. God, explain it. It doesn't make sense. In searching for and deciding on an appropriate program, the school district received program description from the Judge Rotenberg Center, which represented that its educational and vocational program is totally individualized based on each student's needs. Bullshit. 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 You all use the same treatment methods on every goddamn student inside that damn school. You're really going to try and sit there and tell me it's individualized when you use the GED for any goddamn person, regardless of disability in that school? that the bizarre behavioral lessons are used for every goddamn student. The food contingent program is used for every goddamn student. Fucking spare me. Individualized my ass. God. Try to sell me another line. And teaches skills through individually tailored instruction. Bullshit. Major bullshit. Its educational and vocational program is totally individualized based on each student's needs and teaches skills through individually tailored instruction. Again, bullshit. Bullshit. It is not individually tailorized at all. Maybe their paperwork is. What is this garbage? If it was individualized, why is everyone receiving the same type of treatment? That's not individualized. That's a little thing we call in the community cookie cutter. Just saying. Because what have we noticed from the witness statements? The same things over and over and over again. And now you want to tell me it's individualized. JRC, really? Really? Sorry. It would only use corporal and other forms of punishment, which it referred to as adverse procedures, with approval from a student's parents in a Massachusetts probate court. Yeah, that makes it okay. I hate to bust some people's bubble here, but there are people here on this planet that should not be parents of any child, let alone a disabled child. If you believe that parents always have the best interests of their children at heart, explain child abuse. All right? Any student, any parent within their right mind who thinks that it is okay to have their kids punished for the way that they are born does not deserve a child at all, period. Just saying. And as far as, but if the probate court, approves it and all, no. Y'all live in Massachusetts. You remember Salem, right? But I guess the judges decided it was okay to hang innocent people, so that made it okay, right? Yeah, no one in their right mind agrees or thinks that. So why is it okay here? Just saying. Its employees are carefully selected, highly trained, and thoroughly supervised. Sure, Jan. Based on the Judge Rotenberg's Center's decision to admit Ms. Villa and its representations about its program and qualifications, the school district decided to place her at its facility. Again, how does a school district's authority supersedes that of the parents? Can somebody explain that shit to me? Because the school district assured them that the Judge Rotenberg Center was able to meet Miss Villa's needs. Her parents, Johnny and Marie Villa, agreed to the placement. Okay, there we go. There we go. So basically, they sold them a lie. See, parents, this is why you can't just trust whatever these people tell you. You've got to do your own research. You absolutely have to. You can't just trust that they know what they're talking about, because a good majority of the time, whether they have a degree to their name or not, they don't have the first clue of what the hell they're talking about. And it is your duty as a parent to your child to not just go along, especially with what the school district says. You gotta do your own research. You have to. Because when you don't and you just trust what those in authority say, this is the shit that ends up happening. You gotta take charge of your child's treatment and education, especially in their teenage years and leading up to transition years. You gotta do it. You have to do it. Moving on. The Judge Rotenberg Center and the school district entered into a written, non public, non section school agency services master contract for the 2017-2018 school year. The master contract included the following terms, among others. The Judge Rotenberg Center's employees were only permitted to use emergency interventions such as physical restraint on Miss Villa to control unpredictable, spontaneous behavior that posed clear and present danger of serious physical harm and could be immediately prevented by a less restrictive response. Kind of like when, like, you use with the majority of us, meltdowns, for example. The Judge Rotenberg Center was forbidden from authorizing, ordering, consenting to, or paying for any intervention that is designed to or likely to cause physical pain to Miss Villa. The Judge Rotenberg Center was forbidden from authorizing, ordering, consenting to, or paying for an intervention that was designed to subject, used to subject, or likely subject the Miss Villa to verbal abuse, ridicule, humiliation, or that can be expected to cause her excessive emotional trauma. The Judge Rotenberg Center was required to review and revise its restraint practices if these practices had an adverse effect and were used repeatedly on Miss Villa within the same classroom or by the same employee. The Judge Rotenberg Center's employees, subcontractors, and volunteers were required to adhere to customary professional and ethical standards when providing services, including those established in the district's publicly available school board policies. The district's professional standards policy prohibits physical abusing, sexually abusing, neglecting, or otherwise willfully harming or injuring a child. The school district would pay the Judge Rotenberg Center $749 a day for its services. So you're paying them to take her off your hands, are ya? Prior to Miss Villa's enrollment, the Judge Rotenberg Center and its administration received Miss Villa's special educational and mental health treatment records. Among other things, these records indicated that she experienced psychosis and that she required special transportation to and from school, separate from the regular school bus. The Judge Rotenberg Center's clinical staff reviewed these records and received collateral information about Miss Villa before she arrived. Miss Villa arrived at the Judge Rotenberg Center on 28th November 2017 and left on the 19th February 2018. The Judge Rotenberg Center failed to accommodate Miss Villa's documented disability, related need for separate transportation to and from school. Instead, it listed refusing daily transportation in her behavior plan as a target behavior for which employees were authorized to punish her. Good God, really? This failure to provide a reasonable accommodation led her to experience stress to the extent she kicked through the bus window on the 8th of January 2018, sustaining a cut that required 10 stitches. The Judge Rotenberg Center and its employees not only failed to accommodate and, in fact, punished Miss Villa for her disabilities by classifying Miss Villa's symptoms of schizophrenia, including bizarre speech and having hallucinations, as major disruptive behaviors for which it authorized employees to punish her. Remember when I said punishing us for being disabled? Exhibit A. Requiring Ms. Villa to handle her concerns and frustrations by writing a student business letter to her treatment team to avoid punishment, despite her known intellectual disability and struggles with impulse control. Good God. Removing and excluding Ms. Villa from the classroom as a punishment for engaging in target behavior. Dear God, do you people not understand disabilities at all? My uncle Lloyd, he's schizophrenic. And when he doesn't have his medication, it's some of these things, the hallucinations, okay? They're punishing her for it as though it was her fault. Insane. Instead of giving her the medicine that she needs. Judge Rotenberg Center employees routinely made international non-consensual physical contact with Miss Villa, referred to as physical prompts and supportive guides, in response to target behavior such as non-compliance with staff directions. These interventions caused Ms. Villa to fight back, resulting in frequent physical restraint procedures. I would have knocked them on their ass. Just saying. During her 84 stay at the Judge During her 84-day stay at the Judge Rotenberg Center, Ms. Villa suffered 46 documented physical restraint procedures at the hands of its employees. She experienced as many as 5 restraint procedures in a single day. These restraint procedures resulted in physical bruises. On multiple occasions, Judge Rotenberg Center employees used pain compliance techniques to control Ms. Villa's behavior during these restraint procedures by putting pressure on sensitive parts of her body, including her skin covering her shunt. In response to Ms. Villa's making what it claimed to be false allegations of abuse against its employees and threatened to harm herself, the Judge Rotenberg Center authorized staff to punish her in response to these behaviors. In particular, its employees began monitoring her conversations with her parents. They instructed Mr. and Miss Villa to dismiss her concerns or hang up on her when she made these statements to discourage her from doing so. I told you guys, what did I tell you several videos ago? That all this supervision makes it damn near impossible for these kids to tell their parents what the hell is actually going on. Believing that it was their daughter's best interest to follow their instructions, Mr. and Miss Villa complied. Never comply. Never fucking comply to that shit. If you actually want to protect your goddamn kid, do not just rely, but they're the authority. God. Judge Rotenberg Center employees verbally and emotionally abused Miss Villa, telling her that her parents had dumped her there and that the program owned her, threatening to make her disappear into a nearby lake of bones, and on one occasion punishing her by ripping the arm of her teddy bear and throwing the stuffed animal in the trash. On the 15th February 2018, Devon Martinez, a residential coordinator employed by the Judge Rotenberg Center, stuck Miss Villa in the eye with his fist during a restraint procedure on the school bus. The blow to the face caused Miss Villa to suffer a concussion and bruising to her left eye, as well as persistent headaches and nausea for days afterward. She received treatment for her injuries at the Good Samaritan Hospital on 2 separate visits in the week that followed. It is at present unknown if the blow caused a traumatic brain injury or permanent eye injury. Upon hearing that the defendants had injured their daughter, Mr. and Miss Villa booked a round-trip flight to Boston to withdraw Miss Villa from the Judge Rotenberg Center immediately. They spent a week in Massachusetts while participating in interviews with law enforcement and investigators with the Department of Children and Families, and while Miss Villa received medical treatment. The total cost, including the cost of round-trip flights, 7 nights in a hotel, a rental car, gas tolls, and feeding themselves and Miss Villa, amounted to approximately $5,000. The trip to Boston resulted in Mr. and Miss Villa losing income in the amount of $1,140. The Massachusetts Department of Children and Families, DCF, the Massachusetts Department of Early Education and Care, DEEC, and the Canton Police Department all investigated the incident. DCF found that the abuse allegations against Mr. Martinez was substantial and DEEC cited the Judge Rotenberg Center for noncompliance with state regulations based on this finding. The Canton Police Department has filed a civil complaint against Mr. Martinez, and a magistrate's hearing is scheduled for November the 8th, 2018, in the Stoughton District Court. While at the Judge Rotenberg Center, Miss Villa began to bang her head against surfaces in response to distress, which she had never done before. She also resumed eating inedible objects, which she had not done for many years. Miss Villa became depressed and suicidal, expressing her intent to harm or kill herself on multiple occasions while at the Judge Rotenberg Center. She also began to suffer from flashbacks, hypervigilance, nightmares, agoraphobia, and extreme anxiety around separation from her mother. She became afraid of other people seeing her through windows. These symptoms continued after she returned to California. Immediately following her return to California, Miss Villa's psychiatrist diagnosed her with post-traumatic stress disorder and prescribed psychotropic medications to manage her symptoms. Miss Villa was unable to attend school after returning from Massachusetts, and instead had to receive intensive behavioral therapy at home. On the 29th of April 2018, Miss Villa had a flashback upon hearing the sound of approaching footsteps, believing that the Judge Rotenberg Center employees were coming for her. Out of fear, she attempted to strangle Miss Villa with a belt. As a result, Miss Villa was arrested and held at Forensic Juvenile Treatment Facility until the court found her incompetent to stand trial. While in the juvenile treatment facility, she attempted suicide. Because of the increased level of danger Miss Villa now poses to her parents and siblings, El Dorado County authorities have forbidden the family from bringing her back into their home. As a result, Miss Villa has been held in psychiatric treatment facility in Cerritos, California, nearly 500 miles from her family, since July 16, 2018. The placement at the Cerritos facility has resulted in travel expenses incurred by Mr. and Miss Villa, which have amounted to approximately $1,500 so far. The placement at the Cerritos facility has resulted in further loss of income to Mr. and Miss Villa, which has amounted to approximately $5,700 so far. Because of the increased cost of Miss Villa care and the treatment since her time at the Judge Rotenberg Center, her parents could no longer afford their house. Thus, Mr. and Mrs. Villa, along with their other 4 children, have had to move into a smaller house. Miss Villa has required extensive medical and mental health treatment for the injuries she suffered at the Judge Rotenberg Center, which has cost her family approximately $125,000 so far. She will continue to require psychiatric and behavioral treatment because of these injuries for the foreseeable future. So we're going to stop right here. Ow. You get old, folks, you move, and suddenly your side hurts. Look at this here. This isn't like some time ago in 2006. This isn't 1980s. This is just a few years ago. The JRC wants you to think that they've changed since the Andre McCollin situation. They haven't. Not at all. Look at this court case here that we're taking a look at. Punched, restrained, shocked, and all against the original agreement that was made with the JRC, the school district, and Mr. and Mrs. Villa before placing her in the JRC. They have had court case after court case. Look at the 2006 documents we just went over. And they are still doing it. It is happening right now. Right now. So don't believe what the JRC tells you. Don't believe what those parents who have been basically brainwashed, what they're saying. Listen to the victims. Listen to what has already been proven in court with the evidence. Look at these behavioral sheets and what are shockable offenses. Look at the fact that these folks deliberately violated the contract that they made with their parents and put her on the GED that was designed to hurt, in spite of her parents' explicit instructions to not do so. And on those horrifying notes, I'm going to go ahead and close out this morning. We don't get very many views on this channel, especially on this subject. The few that we do get do tend to get removed from time to time. So folks, please don't forget to hit that like button. Hit subscribe. Don't forget to hit the comment. Feed that algorithm. I do appreciate your time this morning. And as always, we here at Smelling Tea hope you have a good one. Pray for my poor voice. Pray for it. Bye-bye.